Hello everybody, welcome back to Devi Daily Yoga for this feel-good yoga flow. In this video, I'll guide you through a sensual flow where we will stretch, energize, and relax the whole body. And we're going to draw from the traditions of hatha yoga, vinyasa, and yin yoga. You won't need anything except your yoga mat and your body. So go ahead and roll it out and we will begin our feel-good yoga flow right now. Let's begin in a seated cross-legged position. Make yourself comfortable if you need a cushion under your seat for a little bit of lift. Sit with your spine tall, let your hands rest on your legs, and close your eyes. Take a breath in, fill the body from the inside, and breathe out. And take another breath in. See if you can expand your belly and your lungs a little more this time. And exhale, let it go. And this next time, as you breathe in, can you feel the crown of your head rising up taller? And as you exhale, soften your shoulders back and down, away from your ears. And allow the eyes to open up now. And let's climb onto hands and knees to make our way into child's pose, sending the hips back to the heels. Feel the palms connected to the ground, the forehead connected to the ground. And take a breath into the back body, the spine, the upper back, and the lower back. And exhale, pouring out whatever you don't need into the floor, through the forehead, through the palms of the hands. And as you inhale, can you feel the nurturing yin energy of the earth filling your body? And exhale, releasing once again anything that's not needed for this next few moments of practice, this time of self-care. Let's take one more breath in as we connect with this earth energy. And exhale. With your next inhalation, lift up through your chest and take it into a side stretching child's pose by placing the left hand on the left side edge of the mat, right hand on top of the left hand, and settle down through the chest. Feel the stretch as you bump out a little bit through the right side of the ribs and through the right armpit. And now take a breath into this right side of the torso. Exhale. Release, walk the hands over to the other side, right hand to the right side edge of the mat, left hand on top of the right. Settle your chest down and bump out through the left side of the ribs. Breathe into the left side of the ribs. And breathe out. And walk the hands back to the center. Place the hands shoulder width apart, come up to hands and knees. And now let's find a cow pose. Inhale, lifting the gaze and finding your back bend. And now exhale, round the spine and tuck the chin and tuck the tail. So notice that the head and the tail sort of follow one another as we come back into cow pose. The ribs are going down and the head and the tail are lifting up. And as we exhale, it's the opposite. The ribs come up and back, the head and the tail come down. Let's return to a neutral spine. And do a similar thing side to side. So let your hips come to the left and your head comes to the left while your ribs bump out to the right. And switch to take head and tail to the right, ribs to the left. And side to side a couple more times, and it's kind of like we're wagging our tails, right? Side to side, back and forth. And now let's integrate these movements into these rib rolls, these barrel rolls of the ribs. So come into cow pose, lift gaze, lift tailbone, and take the ribs to the right, head and tail to the left, and keep on rolling it around. And finding as the ribs go around, the head and the tail have their own path following one another. Any movement that feels good here. If this exact thing isn't working for you, let's just move the spine, move the ribs, and if you've been going in one direction, change the direction of the circles. Feel these barrel rolls opening up all sides of the rib cage, the shoulders, the hips. Beautiful. Let's bring it back into a neutral position and find our thread the needle pose. Let's lift the right arm up, inhale the breath, reaching up. And as you exhale, slide right arm under the left, bringing the outside of the right shoulder to the floor. Left arm walks up above the head. Left palm can be on the ground. And as you deepen into this, you might want to walk your left fingertips toward the top right corner of your mat. Take a breath in. And exhale, soften into the twist. Feel the outside of the right shoulder stretching and feel this space between the shoulder blades. Another deep breath in. Exhale. Good, let's slowly unwind and bring it back to hands and knees. And thread the needle on the second side. Lift the left arm up, inhale the breath, reach up through the fingertips, and exhale, slide left arm under the right. Outside of the left shoulder to the floor, right hand walks up above the head. And perhaps walking the right fingertips toward the top left corner of the mat a little more. And breathe into your upper body now. As you exhale, can you soften into this upper body twist a little bit more? All right, very good. Let's bring it back around, back to hands and knees, and find our way into downward dog. Tuck the toes under, lift up through the hips, and walk the legs, feeling into the back of the right leg and the back of the left leg as you bend one knee at a time. Good. And now both heels come down equally. Lift way up through your sitting bones. Press into the hands, strong arms. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, start to walk your feet forward toward your hands to come into Uttanasana, hanging over the legs. Holding on to opposite elbows now and swaying side to side. Completely release the weight of your head down so that it feels like the back of your neck is nice and long. Completely releasing the shoulders so that they come up near the ears. And now release your arms down and slowly roll up through the lower back, the middle back, and the upper back. Finding your Tadasana here. Feel the weight of the body balanced on two legs, 2 feet. Take a moment to notice what's in your field of vision now. And to feel the phenomenon of standing in this body, standing on 2 legs. And let's sweep the arms out and up over the head. Bring the palms together over the head and lift your gaze up. And inhale, take the smallest of back bends. Rather than falling back, just think of lifting up and back. Good, exhale, pull the hands down through the midline, right in front of the heart, and hinge forward at the hips. Come into a forward bend, release your arms down. Chin toward chest, hanging. Hands either on the floor or on the shins as we come into halfway lift. Lengthen the spine, and exhale, come back down, forward bending. Big step back with the right leg, and drop the back knee down onto the ground. Untuck the back toes, and lift up to crescent lunge, low crescent. We sweep the arms up over the head, lift the gaze, and find a little bit more back bend if it feels good. 3 breaths. Good, bring the palms together in front of the heart and come into a spinal twist, right elbow across the knee, turn to the left. Thinking about lengthening through the spine. A nice deep breath in. Exhaling, soften into the twist a little more. Good, with strength in the core now, let's lift it back up to crescent with the hands in front of the heart. And we're gonna exhale, hands come down to the floor on either side of the foot, half split, shift your hips back, bow forward over the front leg, and give a little wag, a little wiggle to your tail. Drawing the left toes toward you. Saying hello to the hamstrings, the lower back. Good, let's shift forward onto the front foot now. Tuck the back toes under and take a big step forward to the top of the mat. And sweep the arms out and up over the head. Palms come together above the head. Lift your gaze and take that little lean back as we reach way up through the heart. Inhale. Exhale, hands come down to the heart. Hinge forward at the hips and come all the way down into your forward bend. Chin toward the chest. And you halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale back down. Big step back with the left leg. And drop the knee to the ground and untuck the toes. Sweep the arms up over the head to come into crescent lunge. Lift up through the gaze, lift up through the fingers. Deep breath in. And exhale, can you find the heart moving back a little bit more? Keeping this nice deep lunge in the front knee. One more breath in. And exhale, palms come together and down in front of the heart. And come into the twist, elbow across the knee, palms together on the right side, twisting the chest to the right. Good, inhale. And as you exhale, come back to the center. Place the hands on either side of the front foot and shift your hips back, half split. Bow forward over the front leg. And give your tail a little wag, a little wiggle. Saying hello to the right hamstrings. Good, and plant the front foot once again, coming back into a lunge with the back leg lifted. And now let's just walk the hands toward the space between the legs for a wide leg forward bend, hanging over the legs. If it feels good, you can turn the hands so that the fingers point toward the wall behind you and walk the hands back. And take the hands back to the space underneath the heart. Lift up through the chest for kind of a halfway lift here. And now place the hands onto the hips and come all the way up to a standing position. Good, and now let's take the legs into this warrior two position with the right toes pointing out to the right and the left toes in. Bend into the right knee and spread the arms out to either side. Nice deep warrior two so that your legs and thighs feel challenged. Sometimes that means inching the legs a little bit farther apart from one another. Good, and now from here, let's flip the palms so they face up. And take the arms over the head as you straighten your right leg, palms meet overhead, and bring the hands down in front of the heart as you shift your feet to accommodate a side lunge. Bending the left knee, and your side lunge might be here, and it might be farther down. And the angles of your feet might be a little different than mine, and that's fine. You can choose if you want to lift the toes of your right foot up or keep the foot down. And from our side lunge, we're going to creep low, keep the hips low as we come into dragon twist. Bend into the right knee, left hand on the floor, and the right arm up. And inhale the breath. And as you exhale, circle the right arm back and scoop it down. Transitioning now to scoop both arms forward and up into crescent lunge, high crescent this time. Back knee stays lifted. If it's comfortable, lift the gaze. And breathe. And one more inhale, open up through the chest. As you exhale, bring your hands together, palms down in front of the heart, and open it out. Bend the right knee back into warrior two, where we began. Good, and now turn the palms up, bring the arms up over the head, palms together, and bring the hands down to the heart as you turn your feet to the opposite side, warrior two, second side. Once again, find your challenging lunge so that your thighs can kind of awaken. Very good. Let's turn these palms up. Bring the hands over the head as you straighten the left leg, palms together. Pull the hands down as you shift your feet to come into a side lunge. Bend the right knee, maybe here, maybe dropping it down. Option to turn the left toes up. And let's shift back to keep it low, dragon twist, bending the left knee, right hand beside the left foot, twist left arm up. And inhale. As you exhale, sweep the left arm back, scoop it down next to the left foot, and scoop the other hand up for our high crescent lunge. Beautiful. Maybe lifting the gaze, maybe keeping the gaze forward. Inhale the breath. And as you exhale, pull the hands down into the midline, plant the back heel, return to warrior two, bending the left knee, gazing out over the left fingertips. And now lift the arms up over the head, straighten both legs, palms together, pull the hands down right in front of the heart. Good, let's take the toes angled out and the heels in, and you can narrow the distance between your feet if needed. Hands onto the knees. And we'll shift into side to side, just feeling out this goddess pose. And now come to center and shift the right shoulder in toward the midline. And shift the left shoulder in toward the midline. Good, right shoulder again. And left shoulder again. And one more time. And last time. Excellent, let's come back up to standing and find our way into our warrior two on that first side again. Right toes out to the right, left toes in. Palms up, inhale, palms together over the head, bending the left knee, find your side lunge pose. And keep it low as we creep around and over to our dragon twist. Bend into the right knee, left hand on the floor, right arm up. Inhale. And scoop the right arm down. Pick up the left hand to find our high crescent lunge. Inhale. And now we're adding on. Bring the palms down in front of the heart. Warrior three pose. You might be comfortable launching right into warrior three from here, or you might shorten your stance and then hinge at your hips to lift up. And maybe just a few inches off the ground, or maybe lifting the leg to hip level. And now let's see if we can bring this warrior three into a standing balance, bending the left knee without it coming to the ground. Bring the knee forward. And now can you extend your left leg forward? Perhaps lifting both arms up into the air. Challenging our balance. Let's keep the arms lifted as we bend the knee again. We're going to do a slow step back into our crescent lunge. Inhale the breath. Exhale, pull the hands down to the midline in front of the heart. Bend the right knee, warrior two. Well done. Let's bring the palms up. Let the hands meet overhead, both legs straight. Bending the left knee into warrior two, second side. Turn the palms up. And the hands meet over the head. Straighten the left leg, landing over your right knee, bent in your side lunge pose. Good, and now creep low to bring it back into dragon twist. Right hand on the ground, left arm up. Inhale, reach up through the fingers. And exhale, sweep the left arm back, circle it down, pick the right arm up as we find our crescent lunge. Inhale the breath. Exhale, pull the hands down through the midline. And now we're adding on once again, coming into warrior three directly from here, or shortening your stance first, and then playing around with lifting. And can you find the back bend here in warrior three? Lifting the leg a little higher, lift the heart a little higher. And we'll take it into our standing one-legged balance, bend the right knee, bring it through to the front. Torso comes upright. Good, extend the right leg forward. And extend both arms up over the head. Keep the leg lifted nice and high. Keep the arms lifted as we bend this right knee once again and start to send it back, finding our way back to crescent lunge. Lift the gaze, inhale. Exhale, palms together, pull the hands down in front of the heart, back heel down, warrior two, looking out over the left hand. Very good, let's straighten both legs, hands together, palms together over the head. Inhale, gaze up, and exhale, open the arms and clasp the hands behind the back. Toes forward, open your chest as you stretch into a back bend. And exhale, hinge forward at the hips, lift your arms away from your back. Come into this wide leg forward bend. And release your arms down to the floor. And now let's take the right arm out in front and thread the left arm under. This is not too unlike our thread the needle that we did, except the legs are in a pretty different position. Deep breath in. And release, switch sides, left arm forward, right hand walks over toward the opposite side. Good, and let's walk it around to the center. We're going to find our way back over our right foot, orienting toward this top of the mat once again. And send this right leg back, up and back into a three-legged dog. Bringing the right foot toward the glutes. As you inhale, lift the right knee way up high. And as you exhale, take the knee forward to come into a pigeon pose. So we'll start out in a high pigeon. The heel can be near the hips or it can come a little bit farther up. You choose. We're finding a stretch in the front of the left hip to begin as we lift the torso, roll the shoulders back, feel the back bend. Good, inhale the breath. And as you exhale, shift forward, and now the sensation, the stretch, shifts to the right hip, the right glutes. You might choose to stay on the elbows or to come down onto your forehead. Or you can take a twist with the right arm forward and the left arm sliding under. Begin to feel your body settling now after our standing and more active portion of the practice to this time of more yin, more slow and long stretches, long and deep breaths. And now slowly unwinding. And come up with the torso and sit over onto the right hip. Bring the back leg around to the front. Left ankle comes on top of the right knee, and the logs stack, the shins stacked for fire logs position. We can come forward. If this is hard for your body, you can have both feet on the ground and just cross at the ankles to get the same stretch. Here we are moving into the other hip, the outside of the left hip and the glutes on the left side. Breathe. Relax your body. Feel your breath continuing to slow down and lengthen. And slowly now come up. And we'll take this top leg around and back where it came from. Tuck the back toes, finding plank pose. Shoulders over the wrists. 3 breaths here in plank. Feel the strength of the belly, the core, the thighs, the lower back. We inhale the breath now and drop the knees. Come all the way down onto the belly. Cobra pose, lift it up. Inhale at the top. And exhale, slowly just bring it right back down. I'm going to do this 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, back down. Last time up. Exhale, back down. And tuck the toes, lift up into downward dog. And from this downward dog, lift your left leg up and back. And bend the knee, open the hip, lift the knee up high in space. Inhale the breath and exhale, take the knee forward into Sleeping Swan, second side. Sleeping Swan is the yin name. Pigeon is the hatha yoga name. It's all a very similar pose, similar stretch as we start out by lifting up, stretching into the front of the right hip, finding our back bend. Inhale and exhale to come down onto the elbows or onto the forehead or into the twist. Left arm in front, right arm threading under. Settling into an easy rhythm of breath. And slowly now rising back up. And as you come up, sit over onto the left hip, bring the back leg around to the front. Right ankle over the left knee or both feet on the ground for the modified version. And come forward, feeling the stretch now in the right glutes. breathing and settling. And slowly come up. And as you sit up, let's take it into wide legs for dragonfly pose. Inhale the breath here, lift up tall through the spine, and exhale, come forward over the legs. Continuing to let the breath massage your body from the inside. And let the fullness of your breath continue to calm your nervous system. And slowly coming back up. And slowly making your way down onto your back. And we were going to hug the knees into the chest. And gently rock side to side. And now extend the right leg long down the mat. Hug the left knee into the chest. Inhale. And as you exhale, take the left foot on top of the right knee and cross it over into a twist, adjusting your body as you need to so that the twist feels comfortable, and extend your left arm out to the left side. And breathe steadily, surrendering into the rhythm of your breath. And slowly bring it back up to the center and switch sides. Bringing the legs to center. Left leg extends forward, right knee comes into the chest. And we'll take the right foot on top of the left knee and shift the hips to come into the twist. Knee over to the left, right arm extends out to the right. And slowly release back up to the center. Straighten out your hips and your shoulders. Take both knees in toward the chest. Wrap the arms around the legs and lift your head up toward your knees, squeezing into a ball. Wrap the arms tight, maybe hold opposite forearms or even opposite elbows. And we're going to come into happy baby pose as our last pose. Hold the bottoms of the feet. Whether you want to hold the insides or the outsides of the feet is up to you. We're going to lift the feet up, let the head come back down, and take our knees down to either side of the torso. And optionally here, you could lift the legs and come up and back into a snail pose, otherwise known as halasana or plow pose, if that is in your practice. Find a steady breath in whichever pose you're in as you feel the spine lengthen. Both poses are a powerful stretch for the spine and especially the lower back. In Happy Baby, it might feel good to extend into one heel and then the other, maybe both at the same time. Any movement that feels good here. And eventually we're going to begin to roll back out onto the back and find our way into Shavasana, final relaxation. Let's spread it out nice and wide into a star shape, arms and legs wide. And feel the back surfaces of your body connected to the earth. Take a nice deep breath in now. And exhale, let it go. Feel yourself settling into stillness, the rhythm of your heart regulating, the nervous system calming down even more. And all of the energies that have been awakened and stirred from this practice are now settling into this healing energy, saturating the tissues of the body. And now take a deeper breath into the belly and into the heart. As you exhale, gently wiggle your fingers and toes and stretch out into your arms and legs. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, bend the knees and roll over onto one side. And from the side, slowly press up into a seated position. Close the eyes, sit up tall with your spine. And feel the rhythm of your breath now. Notice the change of state from the beginning of the practice. Notice what's happening inside your body. And moving into sound now, into chanting Om 3 times. Let's bring the palms together in front of the heart. And exhale, empty the lungs. Now we inhale. And that's our practice. Be sure to make a slow and gentle transition into the rest of your day. And thank you for practicing with Devi Daily Yoga. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. I hope to see you again in another video very soon. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.